My name is Michelle Horwitz. I'm the texture specialist, and today I'm certifying for haircutting certifications level 1. So in front of you, you have a blank piece of paper. And on that piece of paper, I would like you to jot down the ingredients and the tools there is into baking a cake. Okay, great. Now that you've done that, I would like you to share some of your ideas. Okay, so into baking a cake, we need to take all of our tools and all of our ingredients and put them together into building a successful cake. Right? Right. So just like doing a haircut, we need to take all of our tools and all of our information and put them together into doing a successful haircut. Right. So today we're going to talk about principles of dimension. And for me, this was the foundation of where everything got started. And I was able to take this foundation and build on it throughout my career and for it to be successful throughout my journey. So for you, this is the foundation of your career. And you're going to take this foundation and you're going to build on it throughout your journey so you can also have a successful career. So there's 6 haircutting objectives. There's the principles of dimension, section angle accuracy, hand and body position, phases of a haircut, bone structure, and tools. And you're able to find all this information in your cutting book on chapter 3. So the first principle of dimension we're going to talk about is height. And height is a vertical distribution of weight within a haircut. And weight may fall into 3 different categories. It can fall together, like a closed book. It can fall open, like an open book. Or it can have paper spread all throughout the desk and spread all out. And then we have elevation, which is the degree of lift from its natural fall placed on a section of hair. And from elevation makes our technique, which is the vertical distribution of weight caused by different elevations. And we have 3 techniques. We have a 1 lane, we have a graduation, and we have layers. So when you look at this haircut, what do you see? Do you see a buildup of weight? Do you see not too much movement? Correct. This is a 1 lane. It creates maximum density. It has no elevation at a 0 degree. It's heavy or solid around the hairline. And it's suitable for guests with fine or thin hair. And it is desired a fuller look. As you can see, as we move this mannequin around, it doesn't have very movement throughout the bottom. So this brings us to our next one. What do you see here? Do you maybe see a little bit more movement? Do you see a little bit more elevation? Correct. This is because this is a graduation. It's a buildup of weight. As you can see here, we have a buildup of weight. It's a little elevation, 1 to 89 degrees. It's suitable for various hair types. It has a lower elevation, heavier buildup, a higher elevation, a lighter buildup. And as you can see, when we move this mannequin around, it has a little bit more movement. All right, now when you look at this mannequin, what do you see? Do you see lots of movement? Do you see some weight taken out? Correct. That's because this is layers. It's the removal of weight. It has a high elevation at a 90 degrees or higher. It's left longest at the hairline and is equal and shorter in length. It has a freedom of movement or volume and is suitable for guests with thick or coarse hair. Not saying someone with fine hair can't have layers, but it's suitable for guests with thick or coarse hair. And as we move this mannequin around, it has lots of movement. So the next thing we're going to go over is 2 types of layers. We have convex and we have concave. And it's a uniform of layers that curve from the head shape. It's cut at a 90-degree elevation. It pushes weight down and it mirrors the head. And that's convex. And concave is cut at a higher than 90 degrees. It pushes weight out. It creates movement throughout the bottom, and it has a shorter interior. So over here, we're going to do a little bit of an activity on paper, and we're going to go through and we're going to do the different elevations. So the first elevation we're going to talk about is a one length. So we're going to cut everything on that piece of paper to the same length. Just like this haircut. Everything falls to the same length. And there you go. Everything is equal and balanced. Just like this. Not a lot of movement. The next we're going to go to is the graduation. And it's the buildup of weight. And we're going to cut it between a 1 and an 89 degrees. And we're going to build that weight. And as you can see, it starts to build the weight. Just like this haircut does. Build the weight. And the last one we're going to do is the removal of weight. And we're going to cut it at 90 degrees or higher. So we're going to hold it at 90 degrees. And as you can see, that took out the weight. It was the removal of weight. It has lots of movement, just like her hair does. The next principle of dimension we're going to go into and talk about is width. And it's the horizontal distribution of weight within a haircut. And we have over direction, which is the degree of movement forward or backward from its natural fall of a section. We have geometric shape, which is a term for horizontal distribution of weight, most often created by a choice of over direction of forward or backwards. And we have three geometric shapes. We have round, triangular, and we have square. So when we look at this first mannequin, what do you see? Do you see something shorter in the front and longer in the back? Correct. This is round. It's shorter in the front and it's longer in the back. It's created with a forward over direction, and it tends to move hair away from face. Soft and classic appearance. So if you're working at a desk all day long, this could be a suitable haircut for you so it doesn't fall in your face all day long. So what do you see in this haircut? Do you see the opposite of what we just saw? Do you see something longer in the front and shorter in the back? Yeah, correct. This is triangular. It is longer in the front and it's shorter in the back. It's the opposite of round. It is created with a backward over direction, and it tends to move hair towards the face. It's suitable for guests that wants to draw a little bit of attention to them. So if you don't mind the hair being in your face all day, this is a haircut that guests love to get. And when we look at this haircut, what do you see? Do you see everything equal or balanced? Correct. This is a square. It's balanced from the front and the back. It's both forward and backward over direction. It has a versatile appearance. It works with many different face shapes and all hair types. So many people get this hair types. It works for various people. And as you can see here, we have a picture of round, which is shorter in the front and longer in the back. We have triangular, which is shorter in the back and longer in the front. And we have square, which is balanced throughout the haircut. Okay, the next principle of dimension we're going to go in and talk about is depth. And it's the distance hair extends from the scalp. And we have three categories We have short, medium, and long. So we have factors that's going to depend if we want our hair short, medium, or long. And that's going to be guest desire, formation, texture, density, current condition, lifestyle, and facial features. So all those are going to factor into your haircut of what your guest wants. So the first thing we're going to talk about is guest desire. What does your guest want? And you're going to do this in the consultation. You're going to talk about what your guest is looking for. If they want to spend a lot of time on their hair, if they want a wash and go haircut, what is the end result that your guests want? You're going to do that all in your consultation. Your current condition. Is their hair healthy? Is it a little bit damaged? So if their hair is a little bit damaged, we may have to take a little bit more length off. If their hair is healthy, we may be able to just give them a small haircut. Is it over processed? Like what type of condition is that guest's hair in? Formation. Is the hair straight or curliness? If it's straight, we can leave it long. If it's curly, we may have to leave a little bit of length on it to weigh the hair down. If we go too short with the curliness, it can start to build up of weight at the bottom. Is it texture? Is it coarseness or fineness? Is the hair really fine? Sometimes when we have really long hair and it's fine, it may not look so good. We may have to take a little bit of length on. The coarseness of it. Do we have to put layers in it? Do we have to remove some of that bulk? Density, the amount of hair they have on their head. Do they have a lot of hair? Do they have a little bit of hair? All this factors into a haircut. Lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle do they live? Are they a dancer? Do they have to pull their hair back all the time? Are they a mom? Do they want a wash and go haircut? Do they have a lot to do? They need something quick and easy. Are they young? Do they like to curl their hair? What kind of lifestyle do they live? Facial features. Do they want to minimize something? Do they want to emphasize something? If you want to minimize something, you want to cut the weight or length away from that area. To emphasize something, you want to leave the weight and leave the length there to draw attention to that area. What is your guest looking for? It's very important to talk to them about that. And everything we just talked about, you're able to find it in your cutting system out under 3 principles of dimension. And we're going to go ahead and go to that. And we're going to look down into 3 principles of dimension. And we're going to click on that. And everything we just said, you will find right there. All right, perfect. The next haircutting objective we're going to talk about is section angle accuracy. And it is a system of sectioning to a consistent and accurate result. And we have 4 things we're going to talk about. We're going to identify and understand section angle. We're going to refer to technique. We're going to refer to geometric shape. And we're going to cut parallel to chosen section. So we're going to identify and understand section angle. So we have 3 different section angles. We have horizontal, which is to maintain weight, as we have here. We have diagonal, which is to build weight. And we have vertical, which is to remove weight. So sometimes the way that I think of this is if you're wearing a t-shirt with stripes that are vertical, it tends to slender you down. Sometimes if you buy a shirt that has horizontal shapes, it goes out a little bit wider. And for diagonal, you can think of a seesaw, of it going up and down. So then we have technique. and choose the technique based off your angle. So, if we have this technique, which is a one length, what section angle are we going to choose? Horizontal. Yes, we're going to do horizontal, and those are the sections that we're going to take. That best supports that technique. And then we have our geometric shape. We're going to choose the direction, the weight will follow the section, and we're going to reference a geometric shape to help identify the direction of the sectional angle that best supports that movement. So when we have around one length, the best section angle we're going to take is a horizontal diagonal back section. And then we have number 4, which is cut parallel to chosen section angle. Your cutting line and finger angle must support your chosen section angle. And then we're going to go into your hand and body position, the mechanics and physical controls. So the lower body controls your geometric shape, which is going to be a round, triangular, or square. So are we going to stand in front of our client, or are we going to stand behind our client, or are we going to stand with our client? And then we have upper body, which is going to control the technique, which is going to be our elevation. And then we have our tension, our stretch plates on the section of hair, which is going to enhance our technique. And then we have our finger angle controls, heaviness or softness of the cutting line, which is going to impact the haircut at the end. So we have our in-comb position, which is create or control no tension, and it's best for a one length. So here we would use our in-comb. And then we have our in-hand, which is good for a graduation, which will be best for this one, where we're going to cut in like this. And then we have layers, which is best for overhand, which is our way that we're going to cut like this. And then we're going to go to phases of a haircut. What is the process of a haircut from start to finish? So we have number 1, which is create the basic shape, plan and perform. So this is where you're going to do your consultation. This is where you're really going to talk to your client and you're going to see what they want. And you're going to go over their lifestyles and those factors of a haircut. And then we're going to cross-check. We're going to inspect. And you're going to cross-check every two to three sections. And if you cut horizontal, you're going to cross-check vertically. And if you're going to cut vertically, you're going to cross-check horizontal. And then we're going to have the blow dry. We're going to prepare. Which blow dry method do we want? Are we going to do a flat wrap or a directional? Do they want volume? Or do they just want it pretty straight? What does your client want at the end? And we're going to refine. We're going to detail. We're going to personalize. We're going to go through and we're going to fine-tune our haircut. We're going to see if anything needs shaped a little bit differently. And we're going to do our style and finish. We're going to decorate. We're going to polish that haircut. So for me, I can think of phases of a haircut as building a snowman. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to plan. We're going to create our snowman. We're going to see we're going to build the foundation of our snowman. And then we're going to cross-check. We're going to look at our snowman to see if it's balanced, to see if it's equal. We're going to prepare our snowman. We're going to get everything that we need. We're going to get the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. And then we're going to refine our snowman. We're going to put in the details. And then we're going to style and finish. We're going to put the hat on and the scarf. We're going to polish off the snowman. So right over here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a blow dry. And we're going to talk about some product. And you're able to find all this product in our product workbook. So we have our foundation, we have our muscle, and then we have our finishing product. So the first thing we're going to do is spray our foundation product in. And then we're going to go ahead and put our foundation in, our muscle product, and we're going to use our 413 brush. And we're going to stand behind. And we're going to take diagonal back sections, and we're going to pull the hair away from us. And we're going to dry from 50% of it dry. So go over each section about 3 times, and starting your dominant side, and then we're going to go to our non-dominant side, and we're going to push the hair towards us. And you want to be able to see that hair pop. And then we're going to go ahead to our front, and we're going to do some leafing. We're going to go in, out, half moon, down. In, out, half moon, down. And then we're going to do a beveling. We're going to go in, half moon, down to the floor. Out, in, half moon, down to the floor. And we're going to go ahead and finish that off with our finishing spray. All right, so over here I have a learning center. So over here I have a learning center, and it's the phases of a haircut. And I would like a couple of you to come up and please go ahead and put the phases of a haircut in order from 1 through 5. All right, great, thanks. The next thing we're going to talk about is bone structure. Why is this important? It affects the end result of a haircut. It gives us language for the professional communication, and it will help navigate through a haircut. So in front of you, you have a handout, and it's the bone structure. So we're going to go ahead and go over that. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the apex, which is the highest point of the head. And then we're going to go to the frontal bone. And then we have the parietal plate, and we have your crown. We have your parietal ridge, and we have your temporal bone, your mastoid process, which is behind the ear. You have your nape, which you refer to a lot in men's cutting. You have your occipital bone, which some people have an occipital bone that sometimes can stand out a little bit that you have to minimize. So we're going to do a little project, and I would like you to find your partner's apex, mastoid process, and frontal bone. All right, great. Now that you've done that, we're going to go ahead and move on, and we're going to talk about tools. Each tool has a job, and each job has a tool. So the first thing we're going to talk about is our scissors. So we have our short scissors, which are the 4.5. They're great for graduations. We have our medium scissors, which are 5.5 inches, which are our workhorse scissors, which is pretty much our everyday scissors. And then we have our 6 inches, our long scissors, 6.5 inches, our long scissors, which are great for in comb and scissor over comb. We have our texturizing shears, which are great to remove bulk. We have our 3 combs, which is the 408, which is our fine tooth comb. We have the 424, which is our medium comb, and we have our 416, which is our wide tooth comb. We have our medium and small round brush. We have our detangling comb. And we have our 413, and we have our 427. We have our duckbill clips, and then we also have our hot tools, which is our curling iron and our flat iron. All right, so in front of you, you have a bubble map. And I would like you to jot down some things that we went over today, 4 things that we went over today, and write them in that bubble map. All right, great. Now that you've done that, I would like you to share some of your ideas with your partner. All right, great. So we're going to review a little bit. What are the 3 geometric shapes? Paul, round, triangular, and square? Great. What are the 3 categories of length? Lacey, short, medium, and long? Perfect. When do you use in hand? For graduation? Right. What elevation is a 1 length created? A 0 degree? Perfect. What is the last phase of a haircut? Style and finish? Great. Good job, guys. So for your commitment, I would like you to pick your favorite moment on your bubble map, and when you get home with your family later, I would like you to share that. And for your home play, I would like you to preview and diagram a 1 length in the Paul Mitchell Cutting System app for class tomorrow. Thank you.